There's just no better place to start than the absolute abomination that is the 1997 Donkey Kong Country cartoon, which opted to replicate the cutting-edge visuals of the game with some truly stellar animation. All of the budget went into DK's arse cheeks, and no one can tell me otherwise. But believe me, the visuals aren't the only issue to be had here. I mean, for one, listen to DK's voice for even a second. The entire show was motion captured, which explains why the movements look so off.
Here I go creeping. Shh, don't make a sound.
And they made 40 episodes of this. How? There's a rap battle between K. Rool and DK at one point.
Hold it now, hold it now, hold it right there. You wouldn't drop, couldn't drop, you wouldn't dare.
I'm a reasonable, raving, derangeable despot. I'll tell you what, we'll trade like a stock exchange. Wheel and deal, how's it feel? It's a steal. Diddy by the coconut, the diddy.
Hey, this design is really successful and everyone loves and recognizes it. Let's completely redo it. I mean, I can understand the sake of wanting the show to have a unique look, but I mean, what the hell is that? Oh my god, what do they do to Mother Brain?
It won't be long before I, beautiful goddess that I am, become queen of Diddy on land.
Samus isn't even in the show, why did they do this? Speaking of the Legend of Zelda cartoon, here's the Legend of Zelda cartoon. Since the plot of the games carries over reasonably well to animated form, it's more or less the same basic premise, just extremely dumbed down. With Link and Zelda having to protect the two pieces of the Triforce from the evil clutches of Ganon, a funny pig man. But of course, the real reason anyone remembers this show is for Link's iconic catchphrase.
Excuse me, princess. Well, excuse me, princess. Excuse me, princess.
There are only 13 episodes of this series, and he says it 29 times.
Well, excuse.
This is why Link will never speak again. He's doing us a favor, really.
Excuse me, princess.
I like how in the games there was an intentional decision to avoid giving Link a distinctive voice, you know, outside of... And so this show was like, fuck that, make him as smug as humanly possible.
Excuse me, princess.
In terms of being faithful to the games, this is actually one of the better ones, with only minor changes here and there, like rupees being called rubies, and the bows firing lasers for whatever reason. The Super Mario Bros. Super Show. Now this is one I actually grew up with and I will forever love it for that. In this, Mario and Luigi are plumbers from Brooklyn for some reason, who along with Princess Toadstool and Toad face off against King Koopa. I love Mario and Luigi's dynamic in the show. For once, giving these usually silent characters boisterous personalities actually came out really well.
Don't worry, princess. Luigi and me will climb that mountain before you can say spaghetti and meatballs. I can. I'm allergic to mountains.
Boy, do I wish I could say the same thing about Bowser.
I want my feet licked.
This show also finally answers the age-old debate of whether Toad is wearing a hat or if that's just his head, because in this he can just tear it off whenever he wants. I very much like their interpretation of how to make the Mushroom Kingdom work in a cartoon format. A lot of enemies, power-ups, and levels are worked into the episodes, though as the show went on and they exhausted their ideas from the source material, they just centered the plot around random shit like Hercules or Jack and the Beanstalk, with Mario and Luigi thrown in there somewhere. Along with the animated adventure, each episode was accompanied by a live-action segment starring wrestling superstar Lou Albano and Danny Wells as Mario and Luigi, who are trapped in an inescapable hell along with a laugh track whenever they do anything.
By the way,
With a little piece of spaghetti on your overalls.
you, Luigi, and you have a little bit of spaghetti sauce on your shirt. And your socks don't match.
They also frequently had celebrity guest appearances, but I'm pretty sure I'm not old enough to recognize any of them.
Hi, are you the Mario brothers?
Sure are. Oh, you're Nicole Leggett. We watch your show all the time. Mario and I are your biggest fans.
I have no idea who you are. The popularity of the Monster of the Week formula that seemingly every 80s and 90s cartoon loved using couldn't have translated better to a video game property than Mega Man, which has so many robot masters that the show could still be going to this day. Holy shit. And that is more or less exactly what they did, just with a few minor changes.
Whoa, where are
you going?
With you.
Not a chance, Fancy Pants. I don't need any girl robots getting in my way.
Now I'll have more time to concentrate on being a robo-hero.
No offense, Roll, but I think you better stick to your housework.
Good thing Dr. Light made sure to program sexism into his robots. If you ask me, I'd say this is definitely the best one out of all of them in this video. I got the most enjoyment out of it for sure. Mega Man does the better job of feeling like the video game brought to life, although it is sorely lacking in the part where you die 500 times to the same boss before giving up and quitting.
A perfect fit. Mind if I borrow this?
Oh, now you got my weapon.
Oh my god, he just fucking killed him! I think my favorite part of this show is how much of a colossal dumbass Mega Man is at times.
Now I've got your power.
Out of the plentiful Sonic cartoons that have come out across the years, the one that has always been an outlier for me is Sonic Underground. Sonic Sat AM and Adventures? Yeah, sure. Sonic X? Hell yeah. Sonic Boom even I can understand. But what? Why a Sonic musical show where he's in a band with instruments as weapons? What? Underground says fuck you to any previously established Sonic lore and just makes up its own shit. Sonic now has two siblings, Maniac and Sonia, both of which look like they were ripped straight off of DeviantArt and are part of a royal hedgehog family that had to be separated from their mother after Robotnik took over Mobius. The trio then go on a 40-episode long quest to find their mother, armed with magical medallions that turn into instruments and force us to listen to a god-awful song every episode. Every single one of which looks like it was edited in Windows Movie Maker.
Take away our medallions, take anything you want, but Sonic Underground, we can't be.
Okay, this is awful. The only pre-existing Sonic characters are the Blue Blur himself, Robotnik of course, and Knuckles, not even Tails, with everyone else being entirely original, and boy can you tell. Underground had one hell of a production schedule though. They had to crank out 2 episodes a week, which while I don't know anything about how animation works, sounds insane. And to back that up, the writers once claimed they weren't given enough time to write a cohesive story, which does explain a few things. The songs for each episode were even made before the storyboards were finished. Boss, please, we don't have enough time. Gotta go fast!